right, here we go. Another intuitive message. All right, I want to start off by saying I love Psalms 1. Psalms 1 says, Blessed is the one who does not walk in the steps of the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers. You know, when I think of that, you think of this world that so many people want to portray to others that they are righteous, that they are spiritual, that they are good people at heart. But then you have things like social media that put that to the test, that it is literally the testing of your faith. And you see so many people showing the conditions of their heart, and it doesn't match what it is that they confess. That you confess that you're such a good person, but the moment there is a post that is something you want, maybe someone is posting about their relationship, like, you know, the first thing that come to mind is on TikTok, you know, Charles and Miss Netta, which is, you know, they're getting a lot of attention on social media. And look at all the amount of people that is talking about this woman face, talking about this woman weight, that they are spewing out so much hatred and negative energy, and it makes you think, or it should makes you think, what is the true condition of my heart? Why is it that it's so easy for me to look at someone and bring them down? Why is it so easy for me to, you know, look at situations and I follow the way of the wicked? That this person said something about them, so you know what, I'm gonna like that comment, I'm gonna laugh, and I'm gonna add something too, and I'm gonna say, oh yeah, and her face looked like this. You know, we have to be careful with the things that we follow, because even the ones that want to portray so bad that they're righteous and that they're spiritual, you know, you do the opposite of what the psalm says, that you follow down the path of the wicked instead of being your own individual person and your own individual voice and saying, you know what, I'm not going to put nothing on this. That if I cannot uplift somebody, if I cannot bring them up, then I'm not gonna put nothing on this. You know, so often when things come out, you know, the first thing we say is, oh, I knew it. Oh, I knew it. I knew this. I knew that. You didn't. You know, and, you know, even for you to be in that type of mindset, in that type of condition, it still should make you think about the condition of your heart. Why is that important? And why is this the thing that I'm talking about? Because we are in the season of the resurrection. Whether you believe in, you know, the Christian deity Jesus or not, you know, and that's exactly what he is, a deity to the Christians. And in this season, this is the season of life and death. That this is the season that, you know, Jesus was crucified on the cross, and in 3 days he rose again. This is a very significant season for everyone, whether you're religious or spiritual, because this is the beginning of the year. This is the true beginning of the year, that we are out of the brutal season of the winter that came to kill everything, all of the plants, all of the trees, that everything is experiencing this death. And then the spring comes along, and the spring brings life. And so now, once again, everything is being revived. And so this is a season that we have to ask ourselves, are we going to get life, or are we going to get death? Will we rise again within the next 3 days, or will we die in the next 3 days? And it's not talking about the physical, it's everything is talking about the spiritual. That this season in the beginning of the year, just like every single year, this is the time that God decide if we're going to end up getting life, which is good karma, or if we're going to end up experiencing a death, which is bad karma. The good karma is going to bring us prosperity, abundance, love, and all the things that we truly desire, that the scripture will be fulfilled, that God will satisfy each and every last one of our desires with good things. But the death is what will bring us torment, lack, that we will see our lives falling apart in so many different ways. And when we get this judgment of good karma or bad karma, we can't put this on anybody else. We have to realize that it has everything to do with us. That what we put out in the universe in the beginning of the year, we always get it back. And that determines what our year is going to look like. Regardless of the rituals and everything else that we do, it's going to depend on the judgment that God is going to make. And that judgment is solely based on our actions. In the Bible, they use parables talking about a harvest. That everyone is growing something. Everyone is growing some type of crop. Even when the Bible talks about, heaven and hell, it said, let everything grow together. Let the crops, let the weeds, let the thorns, let everything grow together. Because it's in harvest time that we will take the weeds, take the thorns, and we will put them in the fire. But the crops we will enjoy and we will eat. And so that's the thing that we have to remember in this time, is that what are you growing? What are you going to harvest in this season? Have you put in good? Have you put in bad? Whatever it is, that is going to be the thing that you're going to end up getting. Now I can go with my spiel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is when you watch this video, just make it apply. I wanted to do a channel message, and it's only because of the season. That, this is the season of the resurrection, which maybe I can stop saying that because all of us are not religious and all of us doesn't follow Christianity. But regardless of what it is that we follow, this is still the beginning of the year. And in the beginning of the year, that's when that judgment is made. Okay, so this needs to be upright. And I need to shuffle this way. That was wrong. All right. Thank you, Egun. Thank you, Spirit Guides. Thank you, Ancestors. Thank you, Sarabanda. Thank you, Risha. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Oladumare. Thank you, Olaroon. Thank you, Olafi. Bless us. Let us know the message that we need to hear. Let's see. This is definitely a channel message. I have one more video to do for the zodiac signs, and that's Taurus. I'm going to try to get it done today. I really do love channel messages more than I do the zodiac sign reading or the zodiac sign readings. This deck is everywhere. Like what in the world? How's my cards flip this way, that way? Up, brown, side to side. Let's clarify. Let's clarify. I'm definitely jumped out. Oh, two of them jumped it up. Talks about deceit, a betrayal. Okay, well, this is definitely not going to be the best reading. And that's the one thing about, that's the one thing about divination is that, divination is not always going to be, it's not always going to be a good message. You're not always going to get, oh, you're going to get love, you're going to get prosperity, you're going to get abundance. No, some of us need the opposite because that's the only way that we're going to grow. That's the only way that we're going to start, moving in the direction that we need to move in our lives. The overall energy is the Knight of Wands and it's in the upright. You have the Three of Wands and it's in the upright. And you have the Death card, which is in the upright. The clarifiers is the Five of Wands, and that's in reverse. You have the Two of Wands, which is in the upright. This is definitely spiritual energy with all these wands. Wands is spiritual energy. You have the Page of Wands in the upright. You have a lot of wands in here. So the way that it works is that your swords is mental, your pentacles is physical, your cups is emotional, it's the heart, and then you have your wands, which is spiritual. Did I skip one? Did I say one twice? Pentacles, physical, cups, emotion, swords, mental, wands, spiritual. And when I use the word, magic, keep in mind that magic is not always spells and potions and rituals and chants. Magic is the influence of energy. So that could be lies, manipulation, deception. It doesn't always have to be the spells and the rituals. The Knight of Wands is saying that somebody rushed into something. And clearly there wasn't any vision with the Three of Wands in here. And now because of this, somebody is literally going to end up experiencing a death, which a death is not it doesn't necessarily mean a physical death, but this is going to be a season of bad karma for somebody. And it's all because of rushing in very impulsively to something that because that's what the Knight of Wands is. The Knight of Wands is very impulsive. And so the Knights is always fast acting energy, fast acting movement. And the Knight of Wands is that movement sometimes with no direction. It's sometimes with no vision. And that is just being clarified even more with the Three of Wands being right by it, because the Three of Wands is the card of vision. And so it's clearly rushing into battle, rushing to do something, and there's no vision to it at all, which means that this is a period that you may not have a mind of your own, that you are doing things because of the influence and energy of someone else. You have a couple of cards here, which you have the Knight of Wands and you have the Page of Wands on here, and both are cards of inspiration. Inspiration does not always have to be good. I think sometimes when we hear words like karma, we automatically think that karma is bad. Karma is a neutral energy. Karma can be good, karma can be bad. It really is, it boils down to you are getting back what you put out in the universe. And so it's the same way when you think of words like motivation, empowerment, encouragement. Those words are neutral words. They're not good, nor are they bad. Same with inspiration. Because I can inspire you, encourage you, and motivate you to do something good, or I can inspire you, encourage you, and motivate you to do something bad. And so with inspiration being here, but it's being looked at in a negative way, it's saying that someone is under a heavy influence. Whether this is spell work or whether whether it's spell work of somebody putting a charm on you, that you are under a great delusion, or if this is just simply you being attracted to somebody, and that attraction is what got you to fall prey to this person, fall prey to all of their wickedness, fall prey to, all of the negative things that they're doing. And so, because of this heavy influence, you rushed in and you did something very impulsive. And you lacked vision in what it is that you were doing. And now, because of this, you're literally experiencing a death. That you could start seeing a lot of lack in your life. You have the clarifiers, you have the Five of Wands in reverse, which it talks about exhaustion. It talks about giving up. It talks about destroyed confidence, being extremely overwhelmed and overly protective, which means you could be going through some paranoia. And so someone is being attacked in their mind, that you feel extremely drained. You feel like giving up on a daily basis. Hopefully this is not, going into suicide. But it's giving up on a daily basis, that you feel that all of your hard work is just, it's going out the door. Where it's like you have a bag of sand with nothing but holes in it. And so it's like all of the money that you make is just going out the door. And it's like by the time you get done paying all of your bills and everything else, you're like, I don't have anything. I don't have nothing. And that's what the Two of Wands is here for. It's like you're planning. You could be progressing in life, where it's like, you're trying to you could be getting promotions and stuff on the job, but you're like, with more money and stuff coming in, why am I still losing at such a fast rate? Because you're experiencing negative karma because of something you have done. I tell people all the time is that when you know that you have wronged somebody, you need to go to that person and you need to make it right. And we always think that, okay, well, I can just screw somebody over and just move on with my life. It's like, no, you can screw somebody over, but you won't move on with your life. Even though that person is not physically in your life anymore, and even though that person is probably not even doing spell work and stuff against you to make you suffer, you're going to suffer automatically because of the universal law that's already in place. These are things, these are boundaries and things that God has already put into place, that it can't be taken away. Karma was already invented before we even got to this earth. That it balanced the scales. When someone died, people are born. The scale is always going to be balanced. And so, you can screw somebody over, but at the end of the day, in order for the scales to be balanced, you must now be screwed over. You must get back what you put into this. You must get your energy back. It automatically, and I think that, we can do return to sender spells and all of this other stuff, but there's an automatic system in place that will automatically return energy back to sender. And that is karma, especially during this season in the beginning of the year. You automatically get back, you reap what you have sown. The Two of Wands is also the card of travel. It's the card of, leaving home. For some of you, this is a message of saying, you wronged somebody. And this saying, because of that, you're under a heavy exhaustion, that your mind is so weak. You're so tired. You're so drained. And that it could start off with little things where it's just like something in the house broke. Now all of a sudden you start, getting caught in traffic and you're late for work. now all of a sudden it's starting drama at work. And it's just going to keep escalating and keep building up because it's going to literally take all of your energy. That, now you notice that even when you get off, you have so much stuff to do that God is putting you in a position that you can't even enjoy your weekends, that even on the weekends you have stuff to do nonstop. This is because, the death that you're going through, this could be a death of your ego. This could be a death of your pride. This could be a death of your arrogance. And in order to get rid of those things and to bring you back into submission, it is going to take a lot of challenges, giving you challenge after challenge after challenge until you submit. This kind of reminds me of the curse of King Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible, that he thought that he was just so high and mighty compared to everyone else. And God purposely put him through so much stuff until he humbled himself before God, that God took everything was stripped away. And God said that he had to literally just kind of prostrate himself on the floor and, confess his wrongdoings, humble himself, and be submissive to God. And it was only at that time that things reversed. But when you look into that story, the amount of time it took him to get out of his ego, to get out of his pride, is ridiculous. And the one thing that we don't understand about these judgment and these curses and the karma, the bad karma that we receive, these things will eat at you. You cannot run away from this. You cannot, outlive this. You cannot. You're never gonna end up on top. You never can say, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait this thing out." No, each day is gonna get worse. Each month is gonna get worse. Each year is gonna get worse until you humble yourself and do the thing that that your ancestors, Igun, spirit guides, the deities, God is telling you what to do. Because even in darkness, you receive downloads. Even in karma, you receive downloads that they will instruct you on what it is that you need to do, that this storm will pass. But some of us, we get into these predicaments and the storm lasts a lifetime. And it's not because God wanted to punish us for a lifetime. It's because we never went into submission. We never said, "You know what, God? I understand the season I'm in. You are helping me to focus on my wrongdoing and to correct my wrongdoing. And I'm going to do just that." But for some of us, no. We like, "God, I see you highlighting my wrongdoing by giving me karma. And now, instead of me humbling myself, receiving the download, and doing what it is that you're telling me to do, I'm just going to double down. I'm going to double down. If you thought what I did, last week was something, wait till what I do this week." And you make the karma even worse than what it is. You make the karma even worse than what it is. And so with the clarifiers, it's just telling me that someone is going through a heavy exhaustion. That your mind is being, tormented. Not being able to sleep. Not being able to focus throughout the day. That your whole entire energy could just be tired. It gets to the point that you don't want to go to work. You're calling off using sick days. And you don't understand why you are so down. Some of you could literally be going through physical sickness. That, your body is being attacked so much mentally that it is transferring in the physical as an actual sickness. and you wonder why you can't beat this fever, you can't get rid of this headache. And this, well, the physical part is not the problem, it's the spiritual. So many wands on this board, which means that even in this destruction, it is a guided destruction. With all these wands on here, God is speaking to whoever this is. Your ancestors are speaking to you. They're telling you what it is that you need to do, but maybe you're not listening. And so with the Two of Wands, especially with it representing travel and leaving home, somebody is being encouraged to leave the situation that they are in and travel somewhere. That, and maybe you're traveling back to the person that you wronged. That, and it may be in that time and in that time only, when you travel back to the person that you wronged, that all this wrongdoing is going to go away. You have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is all about inspiration. Once again, inspiration is a really good thing here. It talks about a free spirit. It talks about freedom. Even though the page is very low, is a very low energy, I'm not focusing so much on the low energy, because at this point, Spirit is like, see the Page of Wands as like a king. That this could be seen more as like the King of Wands. Because the page is not really here to talk about the level of somebody. It's more of representing a person. That there is maybe a spiritual person in your life. Someone that is very inspirational. That they could be a role model. That they could be in the spotlight in some type of way of helping other people. With the wands being here, this person could be very spiritual. That this could be a very spiritual person. This could be a spiritual leader. And it's saying that this is who you need to travel to. Because this is the person that you wronged. That somebody here, you wronged somebody spiritual. And this is the reason for your judgment. Even when you look at the two cards that is clarifying the overall energy, it's talking about, it's both are men with these wands in their hands. And the first one is talking about travel with the Two of Wands, which is saying, and he has like the world in his hand and a wand behind him. To me, you could be receiving dreams of this person. You're dreaming about this person. And the reason why you're dreaming about this person and you're daydreaming about this person is because your ancestors is urging you to rush to this person, because this is the reason why you're going through so much mental exhaustion, is because of this person. And it's not saying that this person is doing spell work or anything like that. You wronged this person. You were very impulsive with this person. That maybe this could be a best friend of yours, and you impulsively went off on this person. And knowing you've been knowing them for years, and that's not their characteristic, but you still went off on this person. Maybe this could be a lover that you impulsively got into it with this person, and you did some crazy and damaging things. Maybe this could be a coworker that you impulsively got into it at work, and then you walked off the job. And then you were like, fuck this job. And now you got to do the walk of shame, because you're like, damn, I really need that money. Damn, I really need that money. Damn, I really need that paycheck. And now you got to go back and fix it. Because whatever you did, it was something so impulsive, and now you're receiving karma for it. And then the biggest test of all is going to be the ego death, because part of this ego death is that you now got to go back. You now got to go back to this person. You need this person. And so now you got to go back. And that is the biggest ego death of all, is that when you got to go back to the person you harmed. Because now when you go back, that person is not going to have the same love and respect for you. They're not going to have the same mercy and grace for you, which means you're going to have to attack this in a completely different way. Now you're going to have to really be in a genuine heart, in a good space, that you are able to say, I'm sorry, and truly apologize in the way that you're supposed to and mean it. But that is the biggest ego, pride, and arrogance death, is when God put us in a position that we got to go back to the person we harmed and we got to ask them for their help. Because most people in their ego wouldn't do it. They're like, you know what? I'd rather suffer. I'd rather lose my house and my car too. Not realizing that you can lose it all. Or you know you can lose it all, but you're still willing because you're still in that ego. You're like, I would rather be destroyed, sit here and be destroyed and get everything taken away from me, instead of going back and apologizing to this page of wands and to the spiritual person. You wronged somebody. It's time to take accountability and responsibility. It's time to own up to what you've done. Because until you own up to what you've done, you're gonna end up getting a lot. This is gonna be a lot of pain. Your crossing energy. You have the Six of Cups, which talks about the past, and you have the World card, which talks about completion. It talks about travel as well, and it talks about the celebration of life. I really pay attention to cards when there are consistent themes. And two of the consistent themes here is inspiration. You have, like I said before, you have two cards on the board that, highlight specifically inspiration, inspired actions, and things like that. And now you have two cards on the board that specifically talks about travel. Both your overall energy and your crossing energy, it talks about travel. And that lets me know that there's no way around this. No matter what, you're going to have to travel back to somebody. You're going to have to go back to somebody in order to fix things and make things right. The Six of Cups is all about the past, which means, and then the World card is about completion. It's about a cycle. That's what it's about. It's about a cycle. And so somebody is going through a replay cycle that you are constantly thinking about somebody day in and day out. That spirit is not letting you get away with this. That, this is more than just your dreams being haunted. This is also your daydreams. All throughout the day, you are thinking about this person. You're thinking about the things that they did. You're thinking about the things that they said. You're thinking about all the ways they helped you out. That this is constantly just running through your mind, that this is on replay. And the reason why it's on replay is because card at the bottom of the deck, well, the card at the bottom of the deck over here, but this is the second one when I reshuffled. You have the Seven of Swords. You betrayed somebody. You were deceptive. You played games of trickery. You manipulated this person. And so Spirit is like, no. The best karma for you is for you to have to go back and humble yourself with this person. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles as a clarifier. The Six of Pentacles is saying, baby, you're going to be on your knees begging. You are about to be on your knees begging this person for help. Because Spirit is not with you at this point. Spirit is not with the bullshit. Spirit is allowing you to go through so much mental exhaustion because of some trickery, some deceptive game that you played. You are specifically thinking about this. This is love. If this is love in some form, which means this was a partner, this was a family member, this was a very close friend, could have been a coworker, but this was somebody you had a really good connection with, and you screwed them over. You screwed them over big time. You fucked them over. With the Ten of Pentacles being present. But your karma is here. You're going through the Eight of Swords of you're imprisoned in your own mind. You have negative thoughts. You are going through so many mental games that, God is basically saying, you wanted to play the victim in this after you done all of this shit? Fine. I'm going to make you the victim by tormenting you. Now you can say you're the victim. Now you can say that somebody is attacking me, because you literally are being attacked on a spiritual level with all these wands present. Your mind is being your mind is being attacked greatly. Somebody is literally trapped in their mind. And with the Strength card being present, it's saying that this is a stronghold. This is a stronghold. Somebody is going through a stronghold of mental agony in their mind, and it's not going to let up. It's not going to let up until you rush in with the Knight of Cups, until you rush in offering your cup of love. For some of you, if this is a relationship, you're going to reunite with your partner. And Spirit is saying, when you reunite with your partner, you're going to do better this time. Because now you're going to get back into this relationship and you're going to humble that ass. And you're going to humble that ass because you're going to have a great reverence for your partner. What is reverence? Reverence is, to me, is a mixture of fear and respect. And you're going to have a great reverence for your partner because you are experiencing how protected this person is. You didn't realize how spiritual this person was that you were with. And you took advantage of this person. Whether this is a coworker, whether this is a lover, whether this is a family member, you took advantage of this person because you did not know how well protected this person was. You didn't know. You didn't know how spiritual this person was. You didn't know that this was like David, that God said that I fuck with him. This is my favorite. He has a heart after me. You didn't know that. You didn't realize how well protected this person was. And now because of that, you're suffering. You're suffering while this person is thriving. And Spirit even have it where you could be watching this person every single day on social media, face to face, that you're stalking this person and you're not understanding why Why am I decreasing while this person is ascending? This person is going through a new level of spirituality. This person is going through a new level of blessings, and you're trying to wonder why. Why am I descending while this person is ascending? Because this person had a good heart while you had a heart of stone. And now you are going through this process that God is literally ripping out that heart of stone, crushing that heart of stone, and giving you a heart of flesh. And when you get that heart of flesh and you start operating in a different way, you're going to end up having a reverence for this person, because I think when you get back to this person, you're not going to want to repeat the cycle. Even if this is a relationship and you get back together and you decide to leave in the future, this time when you leave, you're going to leave the right way. You're not going to leave with all this trickery, deception, and everything else. Because you're going to realize, you're realizing now that this person's spiritual team doesn't play. Oh, their spiritual team doesn't play. Their spiritual team is literally haunting you. That you could be crying yourself to sleep at night. That you could be having moments throughout the day that you're breaking down emotionally and you're just crying and you don't know what's wrong with you. Well, technically you do, because you have all this inspiration in here, so you're receiving downloads. The high priestess here, you're receiving wisdom and downloads. So I'm not going to say that you don't know what to do. You do know what to do, but it's one of those things, it's kind of like what I said. You know what to do, but your pride is so huge. Your ego is so huge. Your arrogance is so huge that you are choosing not to rush in and right your wrong, not realizing that the more you wait, the more you're going to suffer. The more you're going to... God has a way of breaking down an ego. God has a way of breaking down pride. God has a way of breaking down arrogance. Look at the days of Moses. Baby, you didn't have to do all that to me. The first plague, I would have learned my lesson and I would have been like, get all these niggas up out of here. Get every Israelite, even if you a half-breed, get all these niggas up out of here. I want every Israelite up out of Egypt, because y'all are not about to give me another plague. Baby, the moment I was taking a bath in the river and you turned that river to blood, I would have been done. I don't want none of y'all Israelites in here. Your God is too powerful. Your God and your ancestors and your deities, they watch over you a little bit too strongly for me. You gotta go. I promise you, I would have never got to the plague of the killing of the firstborn. You wouldn't have got me there. I'm sorry. That very first plague, all Moses had to do was take his hand out, and the moment his hand turned to leopard, I would have been like, I'm done. Nope. I know God is with you. I'm sorry, brother. Let me let you go. Do you need some Starbucks or something? You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a little extra money. Let me cash out my 401k and kind of, give you a little extra something on your route. And, maybe you can send me up a little blessing. But somebody is realizing the power of someone's spiritual team. Somebody is going through hell. And, this is the funny thing about it. Your crowning energy. The crowning energy is... the crowning energy is funny. Because you have the 5 of Wands here, which talks about competition. It talks about conflict. It talks about strife. It talks about tension. It talks about disappointment. That it's saying that you are going through so much shit right now where it's like people are against you. That, let's say this is a relationship, because I mean, that's what I focus on more than anything right now, anyways. Is that if this is a relationship, and let's just say you left your partner and you went, this is specifically talking about like maybe when you left your partner, you probably went into a polygamy relationship, or you didn't go into a relationship, you're messing with multiple people. And you know, with the Five of Wands here, and especially the way that I'm looking at the card, the way that Spirit is inspiring me to look at the card, is that you are the one on the end with your hand up, and then it's four other people in the card, of course, because this is the Five of Wands. And it's saying that you are either in a polygamy type relationship, you're in a polyamory type relationship, that you're able that which means you're in an open relationship that you can mess around with multiple people, or you're single but you are messing around with multiple people, specifically like four people that you're bouncing from person to person to person. And it's saying that, you know, this is what you did when you left this spiritual person. You end up, you know, you're either in a polygamy relationship, you're in a polyamory relationship, or you're just single but you're messing around with multiple people. But it's saying that you have strife with all of them. That every last one of them is getting on your nerves. That, you know, so regardless of the relationship status, every last one of them is getting on your nerves. Every last one of them is fighting you. Every last one of them is nitpicking, where they like, why you keep the toilet seat up? Why you not coming home? Who else are you texting? That there's a lot of strife. But even though there's a lot of strife, you're trying to pretend as if you're the happiest person in the world. And Spirit is saying that this is just a delusion with the Seven of Cups here. Which means you are going through all of this mental anguish, which is transferring to a physical sickness or illness. And then on top of that, you're going through a lot of stress with fighting and arguing with all of the people that you're messing around with. But the Sun card is saying you're on Facebook, social media, just smiling. Cheese. Trying to make the world see that everything in your life is okay. You're just doing so fine. You're doing well. You know, I don't have to, you know, want for anything. You're trying to pretend as if everything is okay, but it's like, you know, boo-boo, you ain't fooling nobody. You ain't happy. You're trying to project an illusion. And this is what you're good at anyways, because you're a deceiver, you're a liar, you're a manipulator. And so this is what you're good at anyways. You're good at a fake face. That, you know, Spirit is kicking your ass and you're trying to reflect to the other person like, oh, I don't need you. I told you I could do better on my own. Look at me. I'm happy. And you're not happy. You're going through all types of hell. You can't even sleep at night. You imprisoned in your goddamn mind. Like, come on. How are you the happiest card in the deck when you got all this shit happening? This is the ego. This is the pride. This is the arrogance. You going through all this and still got the nerve to pretend like things are going right in your life. Come on now. What kind of, come on. Come on. I'm telling you, this is the type of person that if you were in the days of Moses, you would literally have to go through every single plague in order for your ego, pride, and arrogance to be crushed. And so definitely if somebody is watching this and they like, is my lover coming back? Baby, your lover might not come back for a whole nother year because they got to go through a complete mental breakdown in order for God to finally get them in the place that they're supposed to be in. But somebody, this is a huge, great shattering of your ego. That your ego is about to be broken down. And I'm just like, have wisdom in everything that you do. Because wisdom would be telling me, okay, look, I need to listen to the downloads that I'm receiving. Because the downloads is telling you to travel. Travel, travel, travel. The downloads is telling you that you need to travel. And then even this one, which is leaving home, there's a possibility that wherever this person is staying, they're going to end up getting kicked out their home. And then it's like, the reason why this stuff is happening is you're going through a great, number one, you're going through a great judgment. And this judgment is karma. But then you're going through a test of trying to see, are you still an ego? When you get kicked out your place, are you going to travel to this person and make things right? Or are you going to still pretend like everything under the sun is just so well while you living out of your truck? You living in your car. And you trying to make it seem like everything is okay. Everything not okay. You don't even have a place to lay your head. You don't even have a place to take a shower. You better get a gym membership. But why? Why do we have to go through this much to say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, let me make things right? I'm getting tired just even thinking about this energy. That's the one thing, I didn't even cover my hair. I didn't even cover my head when I was doing this reading too. Normally, you always want to cover. You always want to cover your head whenever you're doing readings. Should have covered my head. But at least I got my protective beads and stuff on. Going into energies can be something else, but this person is hard headed. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an earth sign. Don't have to be. Earth can be very stubborn. Earth can be very, very, very stubborn. I know if this was me, I'm a wind. I'm a Gemini, so wind and air element. I would have caved in by now. I would have been like, look, God, that first one, that first plague, boy. Once I seen that staff turned into a snake, you said that check's supposed to be for what? You said 5,000? I would have gave in. I would have gave in on the first one. I would have gave in on that first one. That first one I would have gave in. I would have been like, oh no, 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 no. No need for nothing else. Don't get that snake up. Turn it back into a staff. Turn that back into a staff. Let me go and write you. Let me go and write you this check. You said 5,000. Let me go and give you that. I'm gonna put an extra 1,000 on there for you to get that ass up out of here right now. Don't come back. Take all those niggas. Take them all. Take them all. Y'all all go. Take all the kids you made too. Get all your kids from out of DCS. We don't know. We don't want any of them. Get all of them out of Egypt. Let the prisoners go. Take anybody with Israel, the Israelites' blood. Take them all. Get them all out of here. Oh man. Somebody is very stubborn. Somebody is in their pride. Somebody is in their ego, but God is breaking them down while they're, that's the one thing about the sun card. You trying to pretend like everything is good. God is good at removing fake masks. That mask will be shattered and broken and force you to show your real face. Challenge position I mean, really don't even have to say it. We already said it. The challenge position is the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, it talks about an unbiased judgment. Queen of Swords talk about an unbiased judgment. And it's just, notice how once again, the swords is mental. That, even though this is a woman, remember, God has no gender. God has no gender. God is both man, woman, it, they, she, we, coulda, shoulda, woulda, woulda, butta, I don't know, whatever. God is everything. Remember, if God is the one that created us, he have to be the representation of everything that he's created. And so God is everything. I wish I would have finished that song. It could have been a hit. But God is everything. And this is God sitting on his throne. Or this is God, or she's sitting on her throne. This is God sitting on his throne and overlooked this entire situation. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Ooh, I mean, you notice the symbolism when you need it. Because I'm looking like, now I gotta put myself, is that the left hand? Oh God. Because left has always been associated with judgment, and the right has always been associated with the blessings and the favor. And if you notice that, the sword is in the right hand, but she is lifting the left hand. That left hand is being lifted, which, to me, that is the symbolism of the curse. That is the symbolism of the judgment. That, God overseeing this situation, that God was looking at this situation. And, I like that the Queen of Swords, it represents an unbiased decision, which is saying, I'm not going to favor this person because they're more spiritual. I'm not going to favor this person because they're more spiritual. I'm looking at everything that was done, and what I seen was someone spiritual and a trickster. And now I've made my judgment that this trickster is going to suffer. You have it, once again, you have the original card that was at the bottom of the deck. You have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is all about making a head over heart decision. That's what's getting ready to come in. So if someone is waiting for a lover, if this is your lover is getting ready to come back. Your lover is getting ready to come back. Your lover is getting ready to come back. But your lover is coming back after an ego death. That, eventually they are going to get attacked so much in the mind that their mind is going to be torn up, beat up. They getting a whooping. Or shit, they getting a beating. God said, go outside and get me a switch. And just whooping their mind. God, God, God. Just whooping their mind. And they, I can't think, I can't focus, I can't work. I can't sleep. And the whole time, the ancestors sending them, giving them download. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back and apologize. Go back and do what's right. Go back, go back, go back. They get all types of alerts. But, that's the thing about these things is that none of us know the timing. Because, that's just like when people say, oh, you're going to learn when you hit rock bottom. What is rock bottom? Everybody rock bottom is different. Because my rock bottom is you put me in a position that I can't pay my mortgage for a month. That's my rock bottom. I'm, oh, Lord, help me, please. I can't move. I can't see. I'm paralyzed. Help me. Jesus, help me. Somebody, Sarabanda, save me. But some people, if God was to use that as their punishment, they like, 1 month? But please, I got 6 months. Like, this mortgage company ain't gonna get this house. So rock bottom is different to everybody. And it's the same way when we go through ego deaths. Ego deaths is different for everybody. Is the best analogy, example that I can give you is like the days of Moses. It's like, how many plagues would you have to go through in order for you to learn? Because like I said, I would have learned on the very first one. I'm very, I don't want to go through shit. You know what I'm saying? So, that sign, the first one of the snake, you throwing that snake down, you didn't even have to do the hands. You didn't even have to do the leopard or anything else. That very first one, because I think the snake was the first one, that very first one would have got my attention. That very first one, I would have been like, okay, you were God. God said no. He told you how much you need, but for some people, they're like Pharaoh. That they are just like, my magicians can do that. My magicians can do that. Show them. And then it got to the point that it became spiritual warfare. And Pharaoh lost at every turn. Every plague, the swarms of flies and stuff coming in, or locusts coming in, the river turning into blood, all little bulls on the face, the frogs jumping around, all of these plagues that had to happen. And then finally it led up to the one that finally got him out of his pride, finally got him out of his ego. Or technically that didn't either, because they had to be swallowed up by the ocean. How many plagues do you have to go through? How many plagues do you have to go through in order for you to get out of your ego? Everybody is different. Would have had my ass out, shit. I would have been out. Heartbreak. Somebody is finna go through a lot of sorrow. And then they finna be under a tree crying, help me, Lord. Oh, man. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Lord, help me. Help me, please. Help me. I'm going through sorrow. And God, like, fuck you. You done caused this person so much pain, and you want me to hear you out? Maybe God won't say it like that, but that's my perception of God, so don't take it away. God said, nigga, bye. Oh, man. But somebody's going through a lot of heartbreak, for real though. All jokes aside, heartbreak. Another mental energy is the Three of Swords. Is that somebody is going through a lot of mental anguish. You did the crime. I mean, I don't feel sorry for you. You did the crime. You got to do the time. And now, and see, notice how the Spirit is saying the symbolism too. This person is for real, for real. They are in a polygamy relationship. They are in a polyamory relationship, or they're just a hoe. They're messing around with multiple people, at least 3 people, because when you look at this, and even when you look at this one, I'll explain them all. I'll explain them all. that is indicating people to me. Is that and so I was saying that in this picture. Let me come up close. 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 I have no rhythm. If y'all been following me on social media and stuff, you know that I have no rhythm. Can I put my leg up? All right, so when you look at this picture, like I said, is that, spirit is like, this is your person. This is your person that's fighting against these other people. And one of these people in this group is also you. You're being represented as one of these people, and you could be the one right here that's the closest to this person, because even when you look at this person, it looked like this person is helping this person out. And so even though you might hate your partner right now, going through some stuff, you're still very supportive and you're still willing to protect your partner. And so it's you, it's him, and then the three people that he's messing around with. And so it's saying that he is fighting and arguing with the three people that he's messing around with, whether it's representing a polygamy relationship, a polyamory relationship, or just him being a hoe messing around with three different people. And so it's saying that keep in line with the story. You got to keep up. So you have him, you have you, and you have the three people. And it's saying that these three people are getting ready to break his heart. They're going to end up stabbing him, in the heart, that he's going to end up going through a lot of mental anguish. It's going to be even more mental anguish than what he's going through now. Where's that? And it's all because this person was a liar. They were a deceiver. And they could have been doing the same thing to these people too. And so Spirit is saying that, these three people are going to end up breaking his heart. They're going to end up putting the sword right through his heart. And so now this person is going to end up crying. This person is still all a part of this ego death. They're going to look at these three people and they're going to start. I think these three people were karmic. If this was a karmic relationship, that it had to happen, because these three people is going to teach him a lesson, that these three people could be mirroring what he did to you. And so now in this relationship, everything that he put out to you, he got from these three people. And this is why these three people gave him so much heartache and pain. And so now he's looking at these cups and crying, saying, oh, why was I a hoe? Why was I a slut? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Deal with your past traumas and stuff like that. Get counseling. And universe is once again your ancestors. Is when he get to that moment that that his ego is shattered, that his pride and arrogance is broken, and that it's not in existence anymore. That is when universe is going to come in and say, remember your divine partner. Go back home. It's time to travel back to this cup. That this is universe being represented as the cloud that is giving him this cup, because he finally let go of these three people that he has been juggling, this third party situation. But it's like, when is this actually going to happen? Ego deaths can take time, because it's back to the days of Moses. How many plagues do you have to go through before you submit to what it is that God is telling you? For everybody is different. For everybody is different. How many? How many plagues do you have to go through? How many plagues do you have to go through in order for you to submit to what it is that God's saying? Because God is telling him. God has been inspiring this person, sending them downloaded messages and everything, but it's funny, because God is giving them the left and God is giving them the right. God is like, boom, boom, punching them. But then with the right, God is like, no, go home. Boom, boom, go home. Boom, boom, go home. Boom, boom. I can't. too early in the morning for this. But God is, that's God, and then you have the card at the bottom of the deck. Now, movement with the Chariot card. This person is moving. This person is gonna move, but it gotta take all of this, which means your person is extremely stubborn. That they gotta get their heart broken. They gotta start getting by themselves, meditating, thinking about what these three karmics did to them. Then from there, they're gonna get movement, and then from movement, that's when they're gonna get wish fulfillment. That's when you're gonna end up getting your 10 of Pentacles back. And that's when the pain and everything that you're going through is going to end. But it's like, goddamn, your person is hard-headed. You gotta go through all of this to do what Spirit is telling you to do. Oh my God. I'm embarrassed for you, and it's not even me. Oh God. I'm so dramatic. Sometimes when I be getting into these energies, I just be like, Lord, why? What? Why is this the path I had to go down? Like, for real. I'd be like, why is this the path I had to go down? Because these energies, it's just like, this person is very immature and they're very stubborn. Very stubborn. This is a very, whoever this is, you have a very stubborn partner. Very stubborn. But God is getting ready to break that shit down. Somebody is getting it, like you. They finna be broken down. I promise you that. I mean, so partner coming back after going through an ego death. And he's going through an ego death through the karmics that he left you for. Like, I don't know. I just be thinking that stuff be so funny that you cannot outplot God. God will give you a plot of a story that is crazy as I don't know what. You thinking you're doing something in this little human mindset, and God is like, oh, I got a story for you, honey. Let me let me stir up this pot. Oh my gosh, God will, oh my gosh, God will do it. God will do it. God will definitely do it. Karma is on the way. Karma is on the way. Karma is here. But I think what we got to understand, let me give you a little lesson, a little wisdom, and then I'm going to let you go because this is already an hour and 13 minutes. I wasn't planning on it being this long. We have to get out of the mindset of thinking that we have to watch somebody suffer. That the only way that we will know that God got our back is if God make it where we watch them suffer. Because like the cards are saying, this person is pretending to be happy, which means they're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, like chilling with the homies. And the whole time they're going through all of this mental stuff. And so if you're the type of person that you like, in order for me to know that God is moving, I got to watch them suffer, then you're going to miss this. You're going to miss it. Because we got to move by faith, knowing that God got our back. That even when they are on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that, talking about chilling with the homies, you showing pictures of the new person, and you're doing all of these things to embarrass the original person, then we got to be strong enough to say, God is going to handle it. God is going to handle it. I don't got to see a public downfall. Nope. God is going to handle it. And God is handling it. You're not gonna end up messing with someone that is anointed and protected by God and think you're gonna get away with it. Nope. God is plaguing this person's dreams. This person is thinking about you all throughout the day. You had the Six of Cups and the World card talking about this person is stuck in the past. They sniffing underwear. This reminds me of so and so. And that could be one of the things, that could be one of the reasons, that could be one of the ego deaths of why the karmics is making them go through so much stuff, is because, they know that this is happening. They know that this person is stuck on you and constantly thinking about you. And they like, how you gonna be fucking me but thinking about the person that I just stole you from? Where it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have stolen them. Maybe you should have just left that puppy in the store. Oh, God, man. I tell you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Goon. Thank you, Spirit Guides. Thank you, Ancestors. Thank you, Sarah Bonda. Thank you, Risha. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Ola Dumare. Thank you, Ola Room and Ola Feet. All right, y'all. I'm definitely in a crazy energy. It's time for me to go. I'm like half sleeping, half ready to go, and don't want to be in this energy no more. This energy was a lot, but this person is going through an ego death. This person might go through so much shit. Baby, I would have learned my lesson. I would have been like, oh, that's what you need me to do is go home. Anybody there? I will be waiting on a porch until you get back. Make the darkness end. Oh, man. Okay, let me stop. Let me go. I gotta go. Lover coming back after ego death.